Let's talk shop, let's chop chop and give a little real talk, period. And today I want to talk about when cancel culture turns on one of its own. Now, there is indeed a scripture in the Bible that states a house divided against itself cannot stand, right? And in all this mass confusion that these leftists are participating in, it's obvious to see that on a consistent basis, they love to turn on their own. They really do. So before I get into the main crux of this, let me play a clip for you and give you some relevant context after it's done playing. So let's set the stage here. Yes, indeed. We have a SUNY Buffalo State College professor by the name of Erica Cope, and she was leading an online class that teaches students how to use rhetorical strategies, right? Right before the professor made the quote unquote controversial comment, which was merely stated as a means to spark a debate in regards to the subject of BLM, she had read an article telling the class how important it was to have uncomfortable conversations in the classroom setting, especially when it comes to college classrooms, right? And this part I actually do agree with, by the way, given the current culture and how it is, getting canceled every 5 minutes as soon as you open your mouth, speaking out against the prevailing notions of what people are supposed to agree with, right? Or disagree with, right? But I digress. The professor was encouraging students to articulate their own views about the BLM movement. Later on in that same Zoom class, though, in the same Zoom meeting, she proceeds to voice her own opinions in favor of BLM, stating that she's sick of people just saying the words and not truly understanding what the movement stands for, right? She then expresses that it goes beyond police brutality and into wealth distribution, racial disparities, etc., etc., etc. Obviously, here is where I definitely 100% disagree, okay? But FYI, I want to let it be known, this is where we're at. This is where we're at, people. We're at a place in time where Black Lives Matter ideologies are being promoted in our colleges and universities by these instructors, right? By the instructors themselves. These professors' sole responsibility these days seems to be running liberal indoctrination camps, right? Instead of a university for higher learning. Higher learning regarding whatever particular field of study their students have selected for their career. Oh boy, oh goody. Our wonderful tax dollars at work here, further funding the liberalization of college students on these college campuses. Oh goody. Oh boy. Anyways, after the release of the original edited clip, right, because this clip is indeed edited, right, showcasing the educator saying that she is sick of talking about Black Lives Matter without any context whatsoever, it prompted protests of outrage and calls for removal. As a result of the backlash, an attorney for a nonprofit organization came to Erica's defense and stating that her words were completely taken out of context, for which, in all honesty, they really were. Her words were 100% taken out of context. Even though she's a liberal professor, even though she's not someone I'd rather come to the defense of, I have to be honest and open and say her words were 100% taken out of context in this particular situation. But the point is, I want you to notice something. I want you to notice how quick the left is to turn on one of its own and to begin eating one of its own if they step out of line. As I stated in the intro, the house divided against itself cannot stand. And the left is divided when it comes to those who don't perfectly adhere to the holy edicts their religion of wokeism prescribes, right? I mean, in an age where even the perception of a misstep can land a staunch leftist in hot water, we on the right must be the exact opposite of such cancel culture. We really have to be. So while these leftists are busy canceling their allied college professors or instructors for merely trying to spark uncomfortable conversations for the purposes of a class exercise, we on the right must be unified in our stance for the advancement of free speech, all the while showcasing unity and showcasing strength in the midst of this tornado of freaking cancel culture that is not letting up anytime soon, people. Okay? Let it be known about that. We have to be the oasis in the desert when it comes to this cancel culture, that even these leftists will know that they can come to the right and feel safe with us, right? So, but what do you think? Do you think that what is happening right now to this liberal professor is justified? Or is cancel culture, even when it attacks one of its own, a terrible blight on our society? Let me know in the comment section. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Stay tuned for more exclusive content because I always have more real talk to give you. Until next time.